In this video, I will demonstrate how to put your factoring skills to work in an application type problem. So in this first example, they're talking about the area of a rectangle being x squared minus 19x plus 48. Now they want me to find the binomials that represent the area's length and width. So remember, to find area, we usually multiply the length and the width. So this is where factoring is extremely helpful, because if I can factor the x squared minus 19x plus 48, I'll be able to find those two binomials. So we are kind of looking for what two things would multiply together to make that trinomial. Now in our class, we've been using the guess and check method. So I'm going to start by taking the first term, which is a 1x squared, and I'm going to go ahead and think about factors of 1x squared, and in this case it's just a 1x and 1x to go in the first spot. Now on the same approach, I'm going to look at my factors of 48 here, and I'm going to pencil those into the second spot. But 48 is a pretty large number, and we have lots of options. So let's start talking about factors of 48. So I'm going to start with this 1 times 48. We can also use 2. 2 goes into 48 24 times. 3 goes into 48 because 3 times 16 is 48. Don't forget about 4. 4 goes into 48 12 times. So we got 4 times 12. 5 does not. Ooh, 6 does. We've got 6 times 8. 7 doesn't. And then we're back to 8, which I already have on my list. Okay, so that's a really nice looking list. And we talk about using the guess and check method. So we are going to need to take one of these and just make a guess. Now I can be strategic with my guess. I don't have to just start picking random numbers, because take a look at the inside, this middle negative 19x. That's going to help guide my guess here. So I don't need to pick numbers that are very large, like the 1 in 48 or 2 in 24. Those might be a little too big. I might settle kind of middle of the road. I'm thinking this 3 and 16 is a great guess. So I can pencil in the 3 and 16. And then remember to check, we're going to multiply the inside products. So 3 times 1x is 3x. Multiply the outside products. 1x times 16 is 16x. And our check tells me to add those like terms, which would give us a 19x. Now wait a minute, we wanted to add up to negative 19x. So we're super close, right? We have positive 19x. We want to add to negative 19x. So that means that we've got the right factors. We just need to include the negative. So when I talk about 3 times 16 multiplying to 48, we also know that negative 3 times negative 16 will multiply to 48. And then that will give me the two negative products on the inside and outside. And then when I combine like terms, that's going to give me that negative 19x that we want. So it looks like my first binomial, and I'll use this for the length, I have this 1x plus a negative 3, or I can just write that as an x minus 3. And then the second binomial is going to be 1x plus a negative 16, or x minus 16. Okay, so those are the two dimensions for our answer. All right, here's a second example. They're telling us the area of a park, and they said assume it's a rectangle, is going to be 2m squared minus 9m minus 18, and they want us to find the length and width. Okay, so we are going to factor this trinomial to find a length and a width for the park here. And if you've been following along in class, you know that we're using the guess and check method to factor our trinomials. So I'm going to go ahead and start by looking at the first term. That's the 2m squared. And I need to come up with factors of 2. And in this case, it's just 1 times 2. I don't have many options there. So let me pencil in a 1m and a 2m to the first spot. Now I will jump to the end of our trinomial. That's this negative 18. So I need to come up with factors of negative 18. And since it's a negative number, I know one of my factors will need to be negative. So if I list the options of 1 times 18, remember either the 1 is negative or maybe the 18 is negative. And I'll go down the list. So an option 2 times 9 would multiply to 18. So either the 2 is negative or the 9 is negative. And I can also use 3 and 6. So I'll consider making the 3 negative, but I also want to consider making the 6 negative. And I think those are all of our options for the negative 18. So we're going to go ahead and do a little guess and check here to figure out that second spot. Okay, now I am going to kind of make that educated guess and start looking at the middle, the negative 9m, to start thinking about what kind of numbers I should use. 9 or negative 9, it's not that big, so I may not start with the 1 and 18 pairs. Maybe not even the 2 and 9. I might venture more towards the 3 and 6 combo and pick one of those. So let's go, I'm going to just try, I'll start at the bottom of the list here. Let me pencil in a 3 and a negative 6. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting the 3 here. Now I put the negative 6 in, and right away I'm noticing there's a GCF in this binomial, but there was no GCF in the original problem, so I don't think the negative 6 can go there. So let me move that right away, and let me try the negative 6 in the other binomial and the positive 3 in this one. All right, so with guess and check, we need to check the inside products. So negative 6 times 2m is negative 12m. And the outside products here, 1m times 3 is 3m. So our check, when I add the like terms, the 12m plus 3m, this will give me negative 9m. Hey, that's exactly what we wanted for the middle part. So we're getting really good at this guess and check. So it looks like the first binomial for our length, we've got this 1m plus a negative 6. Or you could just write it as m minus 6. And for the width, we've got this 2m plus 3. So the third and final example today is giving us the volume of a rectangular prism. And we've got 75j to the third plus 175j to the second minus 12j minus 28. So when we find the dimensions, and notice for volume, we are using length times width times height. So that tells me we're going to get 3 separate factors when all is said and done. Now the big question here is what type of factoring to use. And notice there are 4 terms, so I'm going to go ahead and group. So remember, with grouping, we look at the first 2 terms first and try to identify, is there a greatest common factor? Is there something in common between the 75j to the third and the 175j to the second? Okay, now both of those numbers are divisible by 25, so I'm going to go ahead and include that 25 in there. And then I'm also looking at the variable j to the third, j to the second, so they have a j to the second in common. So our greatest common factor, I'm going to write this over here. So I'm going to factor out a 25j to the second. And then when I divide 25j to the second out of the first term, we're going to get 3j, bring down the plus to separate. And the second term, if I divide 25j to the second out of the second term, we are going to get 7. So now I want to look at the second grouping, those last 2 terms, and think about what does a negative 12j and a negative 28 have in common. So they both have a negative, and then I want to think about what number can divide into negative 12 and negative 28, and I'm coming up with a negative 4. So let me write that over here, and then we want to think about what's left over. If we divide a negative 4 out of negative 12j, we are going to get a positive 3j. And when I divide negative 4 out of negative 28, we're going to get a positive 7. Now with grouping, we always said it's kind of a neat phenomenon. The parentheses here, the 3j plus 7, in the green half and the pink half, they match. They're the same. So remember, that is your new greatest common factor, and we're going to actually factor that out in front. So I am going to pull the 3j plus 7 out of the green half and out of the pink half and pull it out in front. So now what's left over in the green half is going to be that 25j to the second power, and in the pink half, this minus 4. Okay, so we've factored by grouping. We have two sets of binomials here. But remember we said in the original problem, our volume will have a length, a width, and a height. So it will have 3 factors. So let's look closer at our factors right now. And I'm going to highlight the second binomial. So that is standing out to me as a difference of squares. So we can factor this further. So remember, the difference of squares, it has to have a minus in the middle, and both terms have to be perfect squares. 25j squared is a perfect square, as well as 4. So that pattern, we said we're going to make one binomial a plus and one binomial a minus. We're going to take the square root of 25j squared, so I'm going to split that up as a 5j in front of both the plus and minus sign. And then I'm going to take the square root of 4, which is 2, and I'm going to put that after the plus and minus sign. Okay, and don't forget we still have the 3j plus 7 from the first type of factoring. So our final answer, or the 3 dimensions, is going to be this 3j plus 7, this 5j plus 2, and finally this 5j minus 2. So by factoring and using grouping in the beginning, we had 2 parts to our answer. And then when we looked closer, there was the difference of squares, which allowed us to take that second binomial and split it up a little farther, giving us 3 total binomials.